Hey guys, this is Bradley Benner and this is Mindset Mondays. This is week number 3. And today I'm going to talk about a few different things, and I've got kind of a little overview. I just want to preface this week's content with telling you what it is that we're going to be covering. And then we're going to go into a series of shorter videos where I can cover each one of these topics in more detail. So the first topic that we're going to cover is Dream Seed exercise. This is really cool. It takes a little bit of time to put this together, but it's something that I highly encourage you to do because it reinforces your goals or your dreams. It forces you to think about your dreams, the things that you want to accomplish and achieve, the things that you want to have and bring into your life. And it forces you to think about them in a more creative way than just writing them down. So we talk a lot about goal setting and how to set goals and write them down and define them, and that's all very, very important. There's no question. But that still is only appealing to our left brain, right, which is our analytical brain, our conscious brain. Our right brain is our creative brain, right? That's more of our creative and artistic side, and that's more of our subconscious, is more part of our right brain than it is our left brain, if that makes sense. So the Dream Seed exercise that I'm going to be describing today requires you to use a lot more of your right brain than your left brain. In fact, it kind of combines or marries the two, which makes it so much more powerful. Because when you imagine and visualize and use creative imagery, which includes more than just text, right? And speech and language, which is typically what we think of with our left brain. But when we start to incorporate colors and pictures and images and sounds and feelings and things like that, that's more of our right brain, and that really solidifies to our subconscious what our goals are and what our dreams are, and makes them that much more likely or much more real. So the Dream Seed exercise, we're going to be covering that as step 1 today. And we're going to be covering each of these points during that. This is for the first lesson. And it's very, very important because even though it's very time consuming, I'm doing it myself. I'm actually doing it a second time now because I really wasn't satisfied with the first time, and I'll explain more about that when we get to that section. But the next part is treasure charting, which is essentially a goal board. And that's what we're going to be talking about as far as the Dream Seed exercise, is creating a goal board. All right, the next one that we're going to cover is the questions to consider regarding your goals. So whenever you go to set goals, you should really think about those goals and ask yourself a series of questions that will force you to really analyze those goals, like why, what could possibly be holding you back from achieving those goals, what are your limiting self-beliefs that could prevent you from achieving those, various questions. So there are some questions to consider regarding your goals. We're going to cover that next. Then the fourth topic we're going to cover is the primary tools for achieving goals, and this will be a short section, and how to identify limiting self-beliefs. And that's going to be really important because in section 3, where we ask the questions to consider regarding your goals, you're probably going to identify some limiting self-beliefs or some areas that you're unsure of, let's put it that way. And when we get to how to identify limiting self-beliefs, it will help to bring those to the surface, to help you identify what those limiting self-beliefs may be, because sometimes that's very difficult. You may have limiting self-beliefs, but you don't even know they're there. And so maybe after you start to realize that you may have limiting self-beliefs, well, how do you really pinpoint or define those self-beliefs so that you can narrow it down and then figure out a way to overcome those, right? So we're going to talk about that in section 4. And in section 5, we're going to talk about the 6 building blocks of our reality, which that's going to be a real short section as well. And then the 3 tools of transforming reality. And that's basically, I'm just going to talk through a little list that I found very interesting. And then the positive self-talk and affirmations, goal setting. Oh, this is for next week. We're going to talk about positive self-talk and affirmations, setting goals from the treasure chart, and then 6 visualization and creative imagery techniques. And that's for next week. So I'm just going to briefly cover that at the end of this week's session. Okay? So in the next video, we're going to get right into the Dream Seed exercise and the worthy goal categories, and then we're going to talk about treasure charting following that. So we'll see you in the next video.